Adventures in Colorectal Cancer, 2026, June 23rd. So, yesterday I had a meeting with both the colonoscopist and the colorectal surgeon. The first was with the colonoscopist, and it was just like, "Hi, how are you?" And so, this is where I kind of discovered the medical team looking after me isn't. His specific duties are colonoscopy and removing polyps. Anything beyond that, he's not responsible for, and you have to go ask whatever medical doctor was responsible for that part. So if I wanted to know about the biopsy of that polyp, I would have to go hunt down the doctor who did the biopsy and then sent the report. The colorectal surgeon is only responsible for the surgery. Once again, this whole thing now hinges on two things. The polyp was at the 1/3, 2/3 margin of the rectum, and they don't know, because they smeared the margin when they removed the polyp, they don't know whether they got it all. So the CT scan didn't show anything, the ultrasound didn't show anything, the MRI didn't show anything, and what that means is it has to be bigger than 5 millimeters, about half the size of your little finger, about half that size, for them to see it. So I could have cancer nodules growing all over my body, and they wouldn't, as long as they're smaller than that, they wouldn't pick them up. The international standard for this is remove the rectum. So basically, you can't have rectal cancer if you don't have a rectum. You go figure, right? So then I saw the CR surgeon, colorectal surgeon, and because of all the blood tests for bits of cancer floating in my blood, and all of the CT scan, the ultrasound, the MRI, and the new biopsy of the area, all have come back negative. And the polyp being on the 1/3 margin, it's making him think hard, because it's pretty unusual. But again, to be safe, we want to remove your rectum and your pelvic lymph nodes, just to be sure. And I'm thinking, like, so the mechanic in me here is, well, we chased down that stumble you had to a bad plug wire, and we removed that plug wire. So now we're going to remove the whole engine so that you don't have another bad plug wire. But it's okay, you can still push the car. Like, it's really being hard. And so he went again through the surgery. We're going to do this, sew you up. Sometimes it's leaks, so we're going to give you a colostomy bag temporarily, but depending on how the surgery goes, it could be a permanent colostomy bag. But you're healthy, you'll survive, and that's their whole goal here. It's, you will survive, and then you'll figure out how to live with whatever remains of your body. And then he said something very important to me: is, do you want surgery? And I'm going like, who wants surgery? Like, who, unless like I really, really need it, who wants surgery? He says, oh, well, how about radiation? Okay, so let's, go talk about radiation. And so he's going to take my case before a review panel. Don't know when, but that's going to happen sometime in the future. And then he's going to set me up. There's only 3 places in the Lower Mainland that do radiation. So he's going to set me up with Vancouver Cancer to go talk about radiation. I asked him, what's a very important question, what's the 5-year morbidity for this type of cancer? And he went, I don't know, because I don't know the stage. And I'm going like, well, if you don't know the stage, like, why are you wanting to cut me up if you like do all these things if you don't know the stage? And I said, okay, so what's the 5-year morbidity difference between surgery and radiation for this type of cancer? And he said, well, surgery is a little bit better. And I'm thinking like how much better? Like, put some numbers to this. Well, it's an evolving thing. And it's just like, but you've been doing this an long time. Like, the numbers should be, although they should evolving, you should be able to tell me the current numbers. So there I am. Now, the first time I noticed blood on the toilet paper was February 27th, I'm thinking, maybe a little earlier, probably February 15th, because by the time I got the call, the telephone interview, it was 2 weeks before that. The 27th was when I got the telephone interview with the doctor. It was 2 weeks before that I found the blood. Yeah, so now we're almost 6 months down the road, and we're still futzing around with this. So it's just like exactly how serious is this? Like, this does not sound like the 5-alarm fire that requires my whole rectum to be removed and have me shitting in a bag for the rest of my life. It's just really, really confusing. And so like it's emotionally just a mess. The CR surgeon asked me, how are you feeling? And which I think is a dumb question. And I told him, just pick a negative emotion, and they're all just fighting for supremacy. And he said, fear. And I said, yeah, that's a pretty good one right now. I'm pretty scared right now. And depressed. I mean, this is like, so yeah, it's just an emotional stew. So it's really hard to ask questions. And he started talking about, so the Burnaby Hospital was talking about levels in 1, 2, and 3, and he started talking about levels in 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going like, can you guys not talk on the same level so that I can understand what you're saying? So, so he says, well, I think that there's a 10 to 15% chance that you have, that some of the cancer cells are in your pelvic lymph nodes. I'm thinking like, okay, so like, what does that mean? Can you not test for that? And I guess the test is, you take it out, you take the lymph nodes and the rectum out, you send them off for testing. And at that point, then we know. And and if it comes back negative, then you've removed my rectum for no fucking reason. Now, a friend of mine had something similar happen in breast cancer where, we smeared the margins, we don't know, we should remove the whole breast. And when they did, it came back, thank God there's no cancer there. Well, like, you've changed her life forever because you removed her whole breast for no reason. Like, can we not do better than that? Now, that was years ago, but it's still like, yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Again, now I'm waiting to hear back from a review board and then go in and see the people at Vancouver Cancer, and around and around we go. And it's just like, yeah. And getting reports now is just like I need the information. I don't process things fast. So like, there's stuff I should have asked at the time had I been more on the ball, but the emotional stew, I don't process things that fast. So if I don't have the reports, I don't know, I can't get the questions together so I can at least get a basis of questions before I do follow-ups. So yeah, so what are my choices here? So one of these things he did say is doing nothing is at this point is not a duty of care. Oh, the colonoscopist said, well, if we got a clear margin, you would be cancer free. I'm going like, how could you fuck that up? How could you fuck up someone's life like that? So, yeah. So the CR surgeon, colorectal surgeon said, doing nothing, I can't do nothing because it's um, a dereliction of duty of care. Like I need to do something. Okay. So we'll do the next steps. Go to the board, see what they say. We'll talk to the radiation guys, see what that's like. I do have a contact through some friends of mine who went through radiation. We'll talk to her about exactly what her diagnosis was, why she chose, where the cancer was, why she chose radiation, and she's 5 years clear right now. So, and then find out, am I really a good candidate, or is this just like we're doing this to humor you, and waiting until you decide until you're ill enough that you actually need to have your rectum removed, and then we'll deal with it then. So it's like, yeah. So yeah, basically in the 20 years, they're just still butchering people and hoping for the best. Make inappropriate life decisions. You don't make any money, but you get good stories.